bring your dumbass fail son into the White House with like meetings inappropriately, bringing them into meetings with staffers, and also, you know, incredibly reactionary immigration policy. And last but not least, portray yourself as the underdog. Donald Trump in his reelection kept trying to present himself as an outsider. Okay. White House is live. All right, we'll go to White House. Watch Ray stream a flight yesterday. He cooked his ass. Yeah, no, I know he's good. I've seen him play. I'm saying he's pretty. I was actually kind of shocked at how good he is. Do we have the White House New York Times Siena poll? Yeah, we're gonna look at all that, but let's go live to the fucking White House real quick, because Biden said that he might actually drop out of the race. Then Biden said he's not going to drop out of the race, most likely. What is this? The call just wrapped. There's a press briefing that will follow the call.
We'll use to purchase interceptors for.
Okay, I don't give a fuck about the Defense Department's interceptors right now. Are you on crack, Karine Jean-Pierre? Get the fuck out of here. All right. So as of this morning, or I guess it's like night here, but as of this morning in the United States of America, okay, Biden had an all hands on deck meeting with Jeff Zients, like all staff, all hands. Okay. Biden also started talking to top Democratic Party officials, finally, after like a tumultuous week of post-debate conversations urging him to drop out, including the New York Times and even some active Democratic Party members, even, you know, seated representatives and the like. And obviously, when the New York Times reporting came in earlier today, a couple hours ago, about key allies, Brandon tells key allies he might drop out, I thought, oh, it's going to fucking happen, right? Any day now, any moment now. However, it turns out that the malignant narcissist who personally believes that he is like always down and out, but a tough fighter nonetheless, is not dropping out. He has said, as of now, since that call, President Biden on campaign call that just wrapped per person on the call. Let me say this as clearly as I possibly can, simply and straightforward as I can. I am running. No one's pushing me out. I'm not leaving. I'm in this race to the end, and we're gonna win. Bro thinks this is like dude, this is like old school. This is some straight like, God, I don't want to say Stalin. People are gonna get mad at me, but this kind of is giving Stalin. Bro thinks he's a fucking authoritarian strongman in like a Latin American country or something. Like, what do you mean you're holding on? What are you holding on to, bro? You are not him.
So, yeah, just a couple of things.
You're holding on for dear life to your life.
The president has certainly spoken to this many times about the debate, and so he had an opportunity to do that in front of supporters, and as you just stated, he did that. He talked about, he owned that the debate was not his best night, and he said himself, it's not an excuse, but it's an explanation. I was standing here yesterday, and many people were asking why and what's the explanation, and that's what you heard from him. Look, the two, I think, in addition to the two major trips, he was also continued to do his presidential duties. He worked late doing that, and he also prepared for the debate. And on top of that,
no, you got to stop with that. You have no business with this. You have to stop. You have to stop talking like he's a baby, bro. You can't. The widow baby. The widow baby stayed up late last night. Like every fucking press briefing, Karine Jean-Pierre is like, he's staying up late every night, okay? And some nights, he's not even having vanilla ice cream. Sometimes it's chocolate ice cream. And you know that's really bad for his tummy. And he has that instead because there's no vanilla ice cream to be had in the White House kitchen. It's like, I don't care, dude. I don't care. Drop out. You're about to die.
Yeah, and also you wish you could have done better. And so he took ownership. I think that's important. And he's going to continue to make a strong case for his agenda. And that's what you're going to see.
I'm not going to lie. This is way worse than the Biden has sex with Jill Biden super hard leaks. I really do wish like Karine Jean-Pierre would go there and be like, honestly, the president is working really hard, tirelessly, and also plowing the shit out of his wife, Dr. Jill Biden. Like, just switch it up. You know what I mean? Just like fucking pull a fast one and be like, are you people paying attention now? Okay, that's right. He has got pipe game. Okay, he's got pipe game. The walls are sweating. Back walls breaking. That's my president right there.
schedule where, you know, the president traveled 6 time zones forward to G7 in Italy.
Oh my
9
God.
time zones
Oh my God.
back to-
Oh my
to
God.
LA,
I'm gonna
and 3
fucking
time
die.
zones
Oh my
forward
God.
again
The
to DC.
president,
That's something that one of the-
bro, nobody. The president is not flying on Ryanair. Okay, he's flying on Air Force One with a medical staff, with a private chef. Like, why are we talking like this motherfucker was flying to France on economy with like 8 different connections, bro? What are we doing? And that shit was like 2 weeks ago. The fuck do you mean, man? Oh, he was just an EP boy, bro. Yeah, dude, he was on Spirit, and then he fucking swapped over on a puddle jumper. He went to England first and then went to Germany on a weird connection and then got a Ryanair flight out to fucking France afterwards. It's like, shut the fuck up, dude. It's Air Force One. That shit is like, Brandon is so goddamn demented. He probably thinks he's in the fucking White House when he's sitting in Air Force One. What are you talking about? Like, what is this? Like, this shit makes me mad, dude. This makes me so mad. They're trying so hard to just make it seem like there's a good reason for him to behave like this. And then the reason is, oh, he's a little eepy boy.
With his family. I think what's important is that he has done this outreach. He's having these conversations. It is important to him to do so. And the folks that I laid out that he spoke to some of them have been his colleagues. Some of them have been elected officials that he's known for some time. Obviously, Leader Jeffries is a new relationship that he has, someone that he obviously respects, and so, you know, it is. I think it's important to note that there were strong
only now. She's like, yeah. He finally reached out to the fucking like the Democratic Party House leadership. Finally. Only a week and a half later, dude. That's crazy. You left his ass hanging for a week and a half. As people were like, is he dropping out? Is he dropping out? Is he dropping out? Is he dropping out? You just did not even give him a phone call. He didn't give Nancy Pelosi a phone call. Hakeem Jeffries is a more significant person at this point for the Democratic Party than Nancy Pelosi, of course. But like, it is wild. No allies for Brandon. Just Hunter Biden. Think about that for a brief moment. While these guys are asking these questions, this motherfucker flops so hard the entire country's like, bro, you gotta stop. You gotta stop running. You're too old. You're gonna fucking die, Joe. Your bitch is no longer bad. Your weed is no longer loud, Joe. You have to drop out of the fucking race. We gotta save democracy. What does he do? What does he do? He calls up Hunter Biden, bro. He doesn't call up the leaders of the Democratic Party and like, you know, bring up the ranks and you know, tell them like, here's our messaging going forward. Sure, I was an EP boy, whatever, fuck it, YOLO. You know, I'm gonna go out and tell everybody how hard I fuck my wife or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, none of that shit. No communication seminar, nothing. Who does he call up? Crackhead Hunter Biden, dude. What are we doing here? That's crazy. That's crazy. What is going on? It's just like they're in meltdown mode over there. It's like, it's pack watch.
And so he wants to continue to deliver, expanding healthcare. All of these things he believes is important. Majority of Americans believe it's important. And his record, he wants to make sure that people do not forget about the record that he's been able to lay on behalf of the American people.
Is there anything, Kareem, that would change his mind?
Look, I cannot lay out something that would change the president's mind.
What can we do? Why won't he drop out? Please, dude.
He's going to continue to build on the unprecedented record that he's been able to.
She just keeps repeating it over and over again, but just like more quietly next time.
What does the president do outside the hours of 10 a.m. and 4 p.m.?
Well, you heard him speak to supporters yesterday outside of 4 p.m. You saw the president land in North Carolina in the middle of the night at 2 o'clock. What was he doing? He was greeting supporters, hundreds of supporters that showed up to cheer him on after the debate.
Bro, this shit. Wait, this is a repeat of yesterday, bro. Is this
in New York in front of?
This is literally a repeat of yesterday. She said the exact same shit yesterday. She was like, the president, he's such a big boy. He even met with a couple of friends.
before 10 a.m. for sure. And so that has been something he has consistently done.
Dude. Okay. Karine Jean-Pierre, all-time one of the worst press secretaries of all time. Okay. All-time worst. Like, the convincing way to reply to this is not to be like, yeah, he's an EP boy, but look at how well he did yesterday. Okay. No, the way to respond to this would be like, that is ridiculous. Okay. You're supposed to attack it head on. You're supposed to literally be contentious at this point and be like, that's a ridiculous assessment. The fact that you are even questioning the president's mental faculties is insane to me. It feels like I'm talking to Fox News. Like, that's what I would do if I was press secretary. Okay. I'd be like, am I talking to Fox News or am I talking to the New York Times? The amount of hack jobs that you guys are throwing in the way of this administration that has done a phenomenal job recovering from COVID, doing, building America back better, doing the IRA, doing things that are unimaginable, inflation under control, record numbers on job growth. And you guys are over here asking, can he be up after 4 p.m.? You saw him on camera yesterday in North Carolina. That was at 2 a.m. What do you think he was doing? He was greeting fans and supporters. Okay. Do you not have watches over at the New York Times? Instead, obviously that would be like still gaslighting because like ultimately Biden is an EP boy. But like, just have a little bit of energy, man. What are you doing? Have a little bit of fucking energy. What are you doing? She's like, oh, well, the president was, he sent me a text message at 9:30. He said, I'm up, by the way. And he took one little baby nap in between, but his nap times are actually much, much shorter now. It's like, no, dude, that's not the way to address this. You're doing a bad job. You're doing a bad job, KJP. You're doing a bad fucking job.
They want to see him.
But
It speaks to that.
But we didn't share that information ahead of time.
Now, if
You
she
all
were to say
asked
that, I'd
what
still
was
shit
going
on her
and
because
then
she's
we shared that
lying. But like,
information.
at least she'd be
We
better at
didn't
her
use
fucking
that.
job.
We didn't use that before the debate. You all asked, hey, is he under the weather? And we confirmed that he was under the weather. He pushed through. That's what this president does. He is going to continue.
Nevertheless, he persisted. I'm persisting too. Persisting to fucking drop this goddamn internet, dude. Holy shit. It's going to come back. It's going to come back. It's out. There's going to be some cuts. Boys, girls, there's going to be some cuts up in this bitch, okay? It's patchy. It's a little patchy, but it's going to get back. It's going to get back stronger than ever, stronger than before. Nevertheless, she persisted type shit, okay? I'm talking about my internet. I'm not talking about Hillary Clinton. This is her story. And we're making his story. But it's not his story. It's actually her story. Come on, please come back, the internet. Please don't fucking cook me again. I'm going to lose my goddamn mind. All right. I'd also be losing your goddamn mind thinking like, why am I seeing an ad right now? Well, that's because it's the top of the fucking hour. Okay. And at the top of the hour, there's a 3-minute ad break. If you no longer want to see those ads at the top of the hour, however, all you need to do is subscribe. We're going to keep rolling with the punches as though nothing happened, as though I'm not fucking effing again over and over again. My latency will recover. We will recover. Things will recover. Your latency is so bad by the time I see the F, you've recovered from the F. I don't know. I mean, put it on low latency mode or something. Sakura Gore, thank you for the 10 gift to subs line 10. People don't no longer see the ads at the top of the hour. Here's a 3-minute ad break now. I'm so fucking upset right now. Oh my God, it's effing again. It's effing again. It's going to be fine though. As you know, it F's a little bit and then it fucking gets better. Okay, here's the 3-minute ad break now. It's a mini baby F. Come on now.
You fight for the American people. So he pushed through it. I think anybody who does that, not just the president, should be commended. And he also said, you heard him say this on Friday, when you get knocked down, you get back up.
Yeah, that was
That's what you
brilliant.
saw.
That was sick. That was sick that he said that. That was cool. Chumbawamba shit. Everyone always talks about
with his campaign, as his campaign has been very, very clear about that. That's what I can speak to, and that's what I can say, and that is the president's focus. The president's focus is how does he continue to do that work, and anything else that we're hearing or that's being reported is absolutely false.
Is the president telling people he's evaluating the
Absolutely
race?
false. That is absolutely false. I saw that.
Bro, I don't know what the fuck's going on. On my end, I'm looking on the internet speed test. On my end, I'm looking at the internet speed test, and it shows 18 up. You know what I mean? I don't know what the fuck's going on. Maybe it's a Twitch server issue. Maybe it's an issue on my end. Maybe it's a laptop issue. I don't know what the fuck it is. Maybe it's a skill issue. But the reality of the matter is, I'm fucking cooking right now. On my end, I'm literally looking at it and it's saying reliable upload speeds, okay? Chat is probably delayed. That's why I'm saying F. I can't lower my bit rate. I've already started streaming. I'd have to end the stream and restart it. I don't know if like it's the OBS being overloaded. It's probably the internet still, but let's continue.
And that's what I would focus on. The president continuing to be very steady and continuing to work on for the American people.
But just to follow up on Kelly's question, do you think the president feels like the coming days are very critical for him as he, you laid out all these events that he's going to be doing?
Yeah.
Are these events very important for him to show to the American people that he still has the ability to be the nominee?
I would say that this moment is critical, regardless of the debate or not. We are living in an important moment right now. Everything is at stake. And I got to be mindful because this is all connected to what's happening in November. And I think any leader would say they always have to prove to themselves to their constituents, right? It is day in and day out work. And yes, the president's going to have engagement. He's going to be out there speaking to the American people. Obviously, we mentioned Wisconsin. He's going to do an interview in Wisconsin as well. We talked about Pennsylvania. But the president was also out last week. Atlanta, North Carolina, New York, where he saw supporters. This is a president that has been consistently out there talking directly to the American people. He understands, as you all asked me about the economy and what people are feeling, he understands that they have to hear directly from him, and he has to continue to do that so that he can lay out his agenda. He can lay out what he wants to continue to do. It's always going to be part of the calculation, right? To continue to prove to the American people that he can continue to do the work and deliver for the
This is so fucking bad.
Deliver on behalf of the American people.
And Jeff had the staff meeting
Yeah.
today. Can you just give us a rundown of really what he tried to get across? And is there a morale issue in the White House right now?
It's a fair question, and I do have a couple of things I want to say. As you just said, the Chief of Staff, Jeff Zients, did have an all-staff call. He wanted to gather the team across the building and acknowledge what the president said himself, right? That the last few days have been challenging. We've been very, very clear in acknowledging that. But we have had an extraordinary record to be proud of, and we know we have more work to do. The president says that all the time. He conveyed the importance of executing on our mission. He talked about the importance of coming together as a team and also there's backs. And so, look, he also said, which I think was really important, and I think every staff wants to hear, that the Chief of Staff door is open and is open to hearing directly from them any questions or any concerns. And, I think that's what you do as a leader.
Kareem, if there are so many questions right now about whether President Biden can do this job, why are we not seeing the president out there every single day in an
Even the sign
unscripted
language
way without
interpreter
teleprompters?
doesn't believe what she's saying.
You're going to stay,
It's
certainly,
bad.
and I know you're asking about the
It's
teleprompter.
bad.
You're going to see him tomorrow, right? 4th of July.
It's bad.
You'll have an opportunity to welcome active duty military and their families, and certainly their loved ones here on the South Lawn, as he does every year. And I think that's going to be important. He'll be able to engage with them and thank them directly. And you'll see him in Wisconsin, and you'll continue to see him, obviously, in the upcoming weeks. Look, it is not unusual for a president to use a teleprompter. It isn't. It is not unusual. That is something that presidents have done in the past. I think what we also have to remember, and I'll keep saying this because I think it's important to not forget, that he has the strongest economic recovery in modern history. He has led a historic midterm win when everybody was talking about a red wave, and he was able to defy that and deliver by being a leader, right? Doing the midterms as a Democratic leader. And he's going to continue to work for lower costs. And I think that matters. I think his record certainly matters. And you are going to see him, continue to see him, having interviews. He's going to do ABC, as you know, with George Stephanopoulos, one of your colleagues. Not scripted. And he has done more than 40 interviews that have not been scripted. Interviews do not have a script this year alone. So you'll see him out there connecting with engaging with the American people, and I think that's important.
But again, we're now almost a week after the debate. President just come here right now and answer for himself at this briefing room all of the questions that we have.
Well, you asked me a couple things. You asked when is he going to be unscripted? He has been. When he visited a diner in a couple of days at the Waffle House, when he met with some of the supporters in Atlanta, North Carolina, where hundreds of supporters showed up. He certainly had an opportunity on Friday.
That's basically hell no, it's not going to happen.
Questions from one of your colleagues. I think that's going to be important.
She's basically saying like, yeah, we're not doing an unscripted fucking press conference, okay?
Looking forward to doing that. He'll have a press conference next week at NATO press conference, a big boy press conference, as Justin from Bloomberg stated yesterday. And so we'll do that, and he's looking forward to it.
And Korean President Biden has always promised to tell the American people the truth, and you be straight with us and the American people. Is the president clear-eyed about what it takes to stay in the race, and
That's a
what it would
Dell
take for it to
laptop.
drop
The
out?
president is clear-eyed, and he is staying in the race. I don't have anything else beyond that. He's staying in the race. That is what the president
That's for a
has
Dell
promised to
laptop.
do.
I don't have-
That is what he need to work on the successes that he's
Killer
had. His record is
networking?
unprecedented record, and that is what the president is focused on, continuing to deliver for the American people. And he looks forward to doing that. Go ahead.
The NATO summit is coming up next week.
Yes, ma'am.
Is the president frustrated that this debate over the presidential election could cast a shadow over your goals for the NATO summit? Has he made any effort to reach out to the NATO leaders that will be coming to sort of assure them that this isn't going to derail that agenda?
So look, as you stated, next week, the president's going to host the NATO summit here in Washington, D.C. It is also the 75th year anniversary of NATO. And let's not forget, NATO has become stronger and has gained 2 more countries because of this president's leadership, and all very much important in doing so is very much important in stopping and helping to stop Putin's aggression as Ukraine continues to fight, certainly for their freedom and democracy. Look, foreign leaders have seen the president close up. They have. And you know, and close up and personally for the past 3 years. And I think that's important to know. They know who they are dealing with and how effective he has been. I just talked about how NATO has expanded because of his leadership, how NATO is stronger because of his leadership. And I think that's important to note as well. And
Wait, so what is Joe Biden's platform?
Look,
NATO.
you're going to see.
Joe Biden's platform is NATO. He's running for the Ukraine vote, which is, I mean, that's like the one aspect that they keep hammering over and over again. And it's like, I'm not going to lie, dude. I know there's a lot of Os and Andes in this community. I know there's a lot of people who care about this sort of thing. But like, as far as the broader American electorate, like, if you were to be like, hey, man, do you want free healthcare or you want a stronger NATO? Everyone would be like, what the fuck are you talking? They would shoot you in the face, okay? They'd be like, what are you saying to me right now? Hey, do you want to fix the potholes or do you want a stronger NATO? Do you want, I don't know, insert anything, like any kitchen table issue or a stronger fucking NATO? Most people will be like, what is NATO? I don't care. Shut up. Okay. Want a better American infrastructure plan or do you want a stronger NATO? Fuck are you talking about NATO? What?
I have not spoken to the Office of Legislative Affairs, so I can't speak to that. What I can say is the president certainly has looked forward to working with Democratic leaders and congressional members over the
For
past
the
3
record,
years.
before people get
Talking-
mad at me, I'm not saying these two things are at odds with one another, even though they technically are, because NATO is a fundamental part of the American military-industrial complex, which is basically a fucking parasitic force that sucks up all of the resources, could be going to the things that I'm talking about, and yet ultimately you could do both technically, and that's not what I'm saying. That's not the issue presented. It's just that if you're constantly only talking about how NATO is stronger, you basically are undermining yourself. You're not presenting your best self. You're not. I'm not a pro-NATO person, obviously, but that's besides the point. I'm personally talking about like Biden's reelection right now, and it's probably the dumbest fucking thing to talk about. Like, I feel as though it's the dumbest fucking thing to talk about. Like, yeah, you guys got to like me because I'm doing NATO. It's like, I don't think Americans care about foreign policy that much. Even when it's Israel, they don't care about it enough. And it's just like, you know, just a ridiculous way to try and win a re-election.
Has the White House, have you sort of missed the boat in terms of responding quickly enough? I mean, I spoke to someone today who said it was too little too late.
Quickly enough on what specifically?
In explaining and discussing what happened at the debate
well-
and reassuring donors and
So-
other people that, you know, he intends to keep running.
Look, it relates to donors or anything political. That's obviously the thing that the campaign should respond to. But I would remind you that the day after in North Carolina, the president spoke to his debate performance. He did. Talked about it, gave, you know, his thoughts. He also stated that, look, I'm not as young, I'm not a young man. He said that. I'm not as a smooth talker as I used to be. I don't walk easily as I used to be. And I said, I don't debate as well as he said this. And so he owned up to it on Friday, the day after. And so we didn't wait. Now, as far as engagement, look, that is something certainly the campaign can speak to more. But the president, in front of hundreds of supporters in North Carolina, talked about his debate performance. Go ahead, MJ.
Maybe Biden
just
will
wanted to
drop
clarify
out because
one thing.
he's,
I know you got a lot
or
of questions
potentially
about
have a
position
medical
yesterday.
emergency
Has
because
the
he's too
president
sad.
had, and
Because everybody
since
keeps telling
his
him to
last
drop
annual
out.
physical-
And we were able to talk to his doctor about that, and that is a no.
He hasn't had any kind of medical exam.
No.
So the White House said no to releasing results of that annual, said no to making Dr. O'Connor available for questions from us, no to releasing any other information that would shed some more light on the president's health. I guess I'm just wondering if now is not the time for full transparency. When is?
So I would say, MJ, to your question, that what we have released over the past 3 years, every year since he's been in office, has been transparent, and it has been comprehensive. It has been one of the most transparent. We have been one of the most transparent administration when it comes to medical records. That is what we've been able to do. And I would add that it is not the norm to bring the doctor to the podium at the norm. And we have owned up. This president directly has owned up to what happened at the debate last Thursday. He's talked about it multiple times, and directly to supporters, directly to the American people. And what we want to do is continue to certainly deliver on the record accomplishments that we've been able to do.
I understand that you feel like the White House has been thorough in the medical records that you all have released, but obviously you're getting these questions in large part because of what we saw for 90 minutes on Thursday night and people's responses to what they saw, right? A lot of people expressing shock. So why not release more information? What would be the downside?
Look, what I can tell you is that we have been transparent. We'll continue to be transparent, and
I mean, this is just her getting cooked over and over again. The same exact positions being repeated over and over again. It's not looking too good. So let's get to the news. O'Donnell, we would invite the president to come here and tell us if he's awake.
I'm sharing with you his.
He's absolutely running.
Yeah. Well, he's saying that, and I'm sharing with you his view.
And we would invite the president to come here and tell us directly.
Noted, Kelly.
But
He's awake.
that's
Heard
inappropriate.
from your colleague, the president of the WHCA. That's inappropriate. Thank you, Kelly.
He's absolutely
We'll give him that. Elena Schneider says, as we talked about earlier, President Biden on campaign call to just wrap per person on the call. Let me say clearly as I possibly can, simply and straightforwardly as I can. I am running. No one's pushing me out. I'm not leaving. I'm in this race to end. I'm in this race to the end, and we're going to win. Also, simultaneously, while that's happening, a new New York Times CNN post-debate poll shows Trump widening his lead among likely voters nationally by 3 percentage points. Trump is now at 49%. Biden is at 43%. It is Trump's largest ever lead in a Times poll. If the 2024 presidential election were held today, who would you vote for if the candidates were Joe Biden and Donald Trump? Likely voters go 43% Biden, 49% Trump. In that poll, every demographic, including black voters that would vote for Biden, think he's too old to be effective. We'll go through these numbers in a second. I can't wait to see what good news is coming out for the branding camp. Also, his approval rating has hit an all-time worst approval rating again. That is, if Biden loses, it's nobody's fault but the DNC's. I mean, we said that with Hillary Clinton, and look where that got us. This Biden stuff is giving RBG vibes? Yes. And once again, just like with RBG shit, just like with Ruth Bader Ginsburg, just like with Dianne Feinstein, the left, myself included, have been literally talking about this even before Biden ran in 2020. I've been talking about how old Biden is and how he's going to drop the incumbents advantage because he's so fucking old by the time 2024 rolls around. Lo and behold, it's 2024 and we're watching it happen, watching it unfold in front of our eyes in the absolute most catastrophic way possible. Okay? Classic situation where, once again, we were right. Okay? Just too early. We were right. Just too early. RFK Jr., don't worry. Mr. I love to eat dog in a second. Excuse me, Mr. I am busy. What I see is people doesn't want new generation. Why is that going all around people who are close to the end of their journey? What? Bro, I have no idea what I tried to say, but congratulations on watching the stream. I'm happy for you. I think you're saying Biden is old. What's up with the old generation not letting new generation come in? And that's because they're selfish. Boomers are incredibly entitled. Boomers are incredibly fucking selfish. They ruin the goddamn economy. They don't give a shit. They have baby boomers, and Biden is even older than baby boomer. I'm using boomer as like a catch-all term for old people in general. And let me tell you, the generation, baby boomer generation, owns like 75% of all the wealth in this country. It is captured up there. And those motherfuckers are increasingly less productive in general for obvious old as shit. Okay? So the situation is pretty bad overall, and they're not dying due to the advances in medicine. And they are increasingly thinking that they can, continue doing the dang thing that they've been doing. Fortunately, like I said, it is a side effect. It is a consequence. It is a consequence of having good medicine. Okay? Just these motherfuckers think, we're good. Israel just presented a new deal to Hamas. Yeah, I responded as well. We'll talk about that in a second. We'll get to that. Let's continue with this.
CNN breaking news.
Breaking news, CNN has learned President Biden has privately acknowledged a series of critical tests are ahead in the next stretch of days. Those tests essential to determining whether he can race for the White House. CNN White House correspondent MJ Lee joining us now. MJ, what more are you learning?
This is the problem. Like, when you have Biden has presented himself as this like underdog over and over again, and it's just a lie. Like, this motherfucker is this whole narrative that he's trying to put together is like he's the underdog always. When he gets knocked down, he gets back up again, and they're never gonna put him down. That kind of shit, the Chumbawamba ass shit. Look at the 2020 look at the 2020 election. Look at the 2022 midterms. Like, none of that shit was because of Biden's dynamic, charismatic personality. Okay? We looked at a poll yesterday. 67% of Americans say they want to vote against Trump. 67% of Biden, like likely Biden voters, say they're voting against Trump, and 33% say they're voting for Biden. That percentage is damn near identical to 2020. That wasn't because Brandon was the guy, even though MSNBC and CNN and all these other liberal institutions that did not want Bernie Sanders because they were fucking terrified of even moderate social democratic progress, to put an institutional cadaver in a position of power instead, and constantly presented Joe Biden as the guy who can beat Trump, the only guy who can beat Trump. But at the time, the polls showed the exact same fucking reality. No one was voting for Biden because he was a dynamo. No one was voting for Biden because they genuinely love Biden. People were voting for return to normalcy. People were voting for competency. Okay? And throughout the past 4 years, Joseph Robinette Biden demonstrated slowly but surely that he is, his faculties are diminished, and it's not actually normal. It's not business as usual. And also that he is kind of incompetent. Okay? That's one of the biggest aspects. That's the biggest selling point for Brandon. There's no ideology that is causing people to fucking go out and vote for him. It's just like they want competency and they want a Democrat because Trump represents chaos. And, you know, Biden is an old school politician. In 2020, they still saw all of that and were voting against Donald Trump. 2024 comes around, those percentages haven't moved. 4 years of incumbency, and those percentages haven't moved even a little bit. That does not spell people love the past 4 years of the Brandon administration. Okay? If you're in power for 4 fucking years and people are still like, yeah, I guess I'm voting against Donald Trump, then, you know, you haven't really done much, or rather, you haven't really communicated what you've done well enough. Both of these things are true to a certain degree. And that's where we're at. That's where we're at with the situation. Okay?
Erica, what I am learning, and this is according to an ally of the president's who spoke with the president directly yesterday, is that the president has privately acknowledged that the next stretch of days are going to be so critical to the question of whether he can save his re-election campaign. He, the president, made clear to this ally in this conversation yesterday that he understands what circumstances would prompt him to basically accept it's just not working. This person who spoke to the president telling that he sees the moment, he is clear-eyed, and they said that the president is very clear on the series of potential events that could come in the coming days that would prompt him again to accept that what he's trying to do to turn the narrative, turn his campaign around, isn't working. This person said, quote, the polls are plummeting, the fundraising is drying up, and the interviews are going badly. He's not oblivious. This is, of course, the person paraphrasing the conversation that they had with the president yesterday. As you know, this is a really significant window into how the president is going to be handling the next important stretch for his campaign. His campaign is in an existential crisis right now ever since that terrible debate performance last week, and he is tremendous amount of pressure right now from Democratic Party leaders, from donors, voters who have said last week really demonstrated that he is not up for running for re-election or even finishing out the term. Now,
what happens if he performs the same in the September debate? He's not making it to the September. He's not making it to the September debate, dude. There's no shot.
Now, interestingly, I'm also told that in this private conversation yesterday, the president was also chastened and blamed himself, not his performance. He said, I have done too much foreign policy, according to this ally that I spoke with. And he acknowledged that the back-to-back foreign trips that he had leading up to Thursday night's debate had been a mistake. We, of course, heard the president saying that at a fundraiser.
Yeah, also, claiming that you're the underdog when you're the incumbent president running for re-election is so funny. That's literally also very Trumpian, which is seemingly what the Brandon re-election campaign has been. Turn orange, bring your fucking dumbass fail son into the White House with like meetings, inappropriately bringing them into meetings with staffers, and also immigration policy. And last but not least, portray yourself as the fucking underdog. Donald Trump in his re-election kept trying to present himself as an outsider. Okay? He kept trying to be like, I'm gonna make America great again. It's like, bro, you already were the president. Like, you're still the president right now. What do you mean, make America great again? And then they tried to fucking revamp it and try to do CAG, keep America great, and that shit didn't work. And he went back to make America great again. And it's like, okay, so you're admitting that shit ain't great. Like, that was just gonna miss for the and that's the thing, like, you can't really present yourself as an underdog. When you're running as an incumbent, you just have to rest on the laurels of your success. You have to on the laurels of your administration, of your term. Okay? No wars though? Yes, dude. The motherfucking president that like increased drone strikes by something like 400 fucking %. The guy who personally followed through on the fucking assassination of a foreign, like, top commander of a country that had a denuclearization agreement, a bilateral denuclearization agreement that took decades to put together, okay? A denuclearization agreement that he actually cast aside. Yeah, he was actually not reactionary at all. You're so right about that, dude. He was so good on his fucking wars. Like, oh my God. Ugh. People are so fucking stupid about Donald Trump. It feels like they just like desperately want to vote for him. I don't understand it. They're like, I want to vote for him, but like, I can't get myself to do it. I can't get myself over the finish line. So please whisper sweet nothings into my fucking ear. I feel like that's the energy that people come in here with. It's like, dude, I hate the Democratic Party. Okay? I hate the Democratic Party. I want the same thing you do. No, the fuck you don't. If you're saying shit like, if you're saying shit like no wars though, when talking about Donald Trump, what do you mean no wars, bro? The moment where America has 800 military bases around the fucking world that we know. What the fuck do you mean no wars? Our global warfare is permanent. The notion that like, oh, a presiding president is not overseeing like death, destruction, and global domination is so fucking laughable as a take. Okay. I know the elite controls the war. We stop the shit. Yeah, okay. Who do you think Trump is? You said the elites control the war? Like, sure, the military-industrial complex has a big say, or other, you know, global capital owners in general have a big say in like American domination because they're the ones who actually benefit from it. But the notion that like, you know, Trump was actually fighting against the elite and wasn't firmly a part of the elite is ridiculous.
Last night as well, the jet lag and the exhaustion heading into Thursday.
You just dick riding Democrats, law? At what point in this entire broadcast have I dick rode the Democrats? God damn, dude. You have to be the densest. You have to be unimaginably dense, dude. I'm sorry. What the fuck? I'm currently literally talking about how the incumbent Democratic president needs to drop out. Okay, you literally cannot win. That's hilarious, dude. I don't know. I don't like me shitting on Donald Trump doesn't mean I like the Democratic Party. Me shitting on Joe Biden definitely doesn't mean I like the Republican Party. Okay,
just had not been a good idea. The president told this ally. Of course, all of this is just so crucial, and again, just a really important insight into how the president is trying to fix the situation that may or may not be able to be fixed. And I think the White House is denying the New York Times' reporting that the president is acknowledging that he may not be able to salvage his campaign. I mean, the reporting that we have right here goes right up to the line. If the president is telling an ally in a private conversation that he knows what it will look like if his attempt to save his campaign isn't working, there is a bit of a suggestion there that he knows that there is, of course, a scenario where he isn't able to save his bid for a second term. So again, a private conversation that gives us some new insight into how the president is trying to handle the next days and the coming weeks. Of course, we know from the White House that they are trying to put a lot more on his schedule to try to show the president in more unscripted settings, like the extended interview that he is going to do on Friday with ABC News. He is going to be getting out there into the country.
That's not unscripted in the way that people want to see him, though. People want to see him in action in real time. Like, people don't want to just hear him talk in an edited fucking conversation. People have seen that already. People have seen that already. So stupid. Anyway.
Country a little bit more. The big question for the party and for a lot of nervous Democrats that are watching right now is whether any of those things will be enough. And Erica, I also have to just point out the fact that the White House and the campaign are putting so much into these events and these appearances that the president is about to do. I mean, that just means that if he has a slip up, if those things do not go well, then they are going to have to acknowledge, and it appears that the president is willing to acknowledge that at some point too, that there's a scenario where all of the efforts that they are making, all of the efforts that they are going to make in the coming days, that ultimately they may not be enough to save the president's campaign.
MJ, it's an important point, and it is such excellent reporting, as always, my friend. Really appreciate it. Thank you. I do want to discuss further now with CNN political commentator, former Biden White House Communications Director Kate Bedingfield, and Republican strategist Doug Heye. Good to see you both. Kate, I know you just heard the reporting from MJ. As she pointed out, the White House denying the New York Times reporting, the campaign also denying to me just a couple of moments ago that New York Times reporting. But I think it's important as we hear what MJ is saying here, right? The fact that there is this meeting, there is clearly a discussion going on, despite the fact that that the campaign just told me there was no discussion whatsoever. Kate, how do you read this? What does this tell you about the mindset of the man who you worked for and the mindset inside that White House right now?
Well, I mean, look, we should acknowledge that both the White House and the campaign are flatly denying the reporting. But even setting that aside, I think there is no question this is a significant stretch of time that the campaign and the White House are entering into here. I think they know that the task ahead of them is to put President Biden out there for him to demonstrate that he is energetic, that he's capable, that he's vigorous, that this campaign over the next 4 months is going to be about, about taking it back to Donald Trump. In addition to assuaging some of the concerns about age and energy, which is an immediate task ahead of him. The other big task for him here is to drive the message of the race back to Trump.
Trump Flynn 2024 FEC ID. Look at this. Wait, what? Flynn? There is no fucking shot. Trump declared as VP. There is no way. What? This has got to be wrong. What are you saying? Bro, what? Dude, no fucking, no way. No way. There is no way. He just released this? Bro, who is doing this? Like, can anybody file this? Can this be a fake filing? Like a dud? Because I do not believe that this is real. This is so incredibly stupid for Trump that no way. Dude, it's a government site. I know, but I'm asking. There's no way no, I don't believe it. Yeah, see, there you go. Immediately, fraud. Trump campaign denies federal filing naming Michael Flynn as VP running mate. This is from a week ago. No, you're crazy. Michael Flynn is the former national security advisor of the Trump administration. He's a general. And he's also most recently, he's known as an absolute QAnon freak. Okay. Like a straight up QAnon guy. Okay. And there is 0% chance that Donald Trump, whose biggest weakness in the broader electorate is that he is too close with the fucking weirdos. There is no shot that Donald Trump would run alongside and put Trump tells former advisor Michael Flynn, we're going to bring you back. Dude, that's May 13th, 2023. Okay, number one. And number two, this does not mean we're going to make you our VP. You're insane. Michael Flynn is doing QAnon conferences to eight with genuine schizophrenia for $1,000 a pop in a fucking Holiday Inn in Maryland. He is not going to be the fucking VP. The FEC filing has to be some fucking fake person who made it up. They input shit and these addresses or whatever, but there's no way. There's no way because it's such a unimaginably stupid for Donald Trump, whose political instincts are significantly better than the run-of-the-mill Democrat and even the run-of-the-mill Republican. Nah, bro, Edinger Mentum is posting it up. No, he's memeing about it, dude. No. Why is that hard to believe? Real? What do you mean, why is that hard to believe, dude? He's a fucking QAnon kook. Are you insane? It's like running alongside Steve Bannon, except Steve Bannon probably has more of a fucking fan base than Michael Flynn. Dude, here, you want to know what I'm talking about? Here.
Trust it, God. You can take all our money, but you can't have our soul. You could burn down our buildings, and we'll still find a home.
We will all stick together, never surrender. We won't give up our freedom.
From the shores of California, all the way down to the Keys.
It's coming.
Only he will bring us closer.
You think that guy is the VP? That guy sitting in between Jimmy Levy, okay, and the most divorced dads, okay, child custody Groiper 69, Child custody arrangement, Groyper 69. Okay. 1776 Black MAGA, 1947. Okay. And just like Jimmy Levy and fucking 4G Auto Suck, that guy who's singing autotune, that's the VP. That's Trump's VP. No fucking shot, dude. The Republicans would never, especially the Trump administration, would never gift wrap. Like, he would never personally gift wrap unimaginable W. First USMC 88. Who could forget that guy? Yeah. Dude, the VP has to be an inoffensive person, okay? I don't think you guys understand how VP works, how the position works. The position is supposed to be a good balance. If your weakness is that institutional party loyalists think you're too volatile and donors think you're too volatile, you know, you got to bring someone like Michael Pence, right? He's a Koch guy. He's tapped in with the evangelicals. And most importantly, again, he is like a regular run-of-the-mill. He's a regular run-of-the-mill Republican, okay? The idea that Donald Trump would lean into one of his fucking biggest weaknesses, like Sarah Palin, dude, Sarah Palin is a great example. It's one of the best swing and misses of all time. Many people credit the McCain campaign falling apart to Sarah Palin. Some people even go so far as to say John McCain unleashed Sarah Palin and the Tea Party to the broadest American electorate and is responsible for the likes of Donald Trump, like a populist MAGA figure who's just like almost an outward fascist. Having said that, however, Sarah Palin was absolutely a balancing act for John McCain. John McCain was a patriotic maverick, but he was too much of a centrist. So what did they do? They needed somebody who would beef up the ticket with the fucking nutters, because the nutters have always been the most important constituency for the Republican Party. So they went after a Tea Party populist like Sarah Palin, okay? This only reinforces the argument that I'm making. The point is, Trump is most likely looking at like a J.D. Vance style figure as a VP, and this is in the opposite direction. This man doesn't bring in donation money. This man doesn't bring in like an actual constituency with him. He's not like a popular figure in the Republican Party at all, okay? And on top of that, this man is a representation of the worst elements of the Republican Party from the perspective of like the broader electorate. Okay. This is exactly what is considered normie repellent. Okay. Normie repellent for the normal suburb Republicans and independents. This is one of Trump's glaringly obvious weaknesses. Okay. There is no way in hell he would lean into this big of a fucking weakness, because Donald Trump, you can say many things about him, but Donald Trump is not a person who is blind to the room. He reads it very well. He sees the room. Yeah. Trump's biggest weakness with moderate voters is how gross they find him. There's no way he'd find a grosser dude to be his VP. Exactly. No, someone said it'd be like Biden bringing you up as a VP pick. No. It would be like Biden having Jimmy Carter be his VP. Okay? Like, that's what it would be like. It would be like if Biden was like, hey, you know, what is one of my biggest weaknesses right now? How fucking old I am, how senile I am. Jimmy Carter on the VP ticket, baby. Biden Carter, run it up. Let's see how old we can go. That's what it would be like. Anyway, a new political committee registered with the FEC indicates Donald Trump will name his former national security advisor Michael Flynn as his vice presidential running mate. But the committee, Donald J. Trump and Michael Flynn for President 2024 Inc., bogus. The Trump campaign confirmed a raw story. I don't know why we're still having this conversation. Like, it's been disparaged already. Yes, I know. My internet is fucking dog water right now. I know it's effing. Just fucking hold the line, dude. Just hold the fucking line, dude. I'm still here. Yeah. Okay. I think I'm back. Anyway, here's further evidence that Donald Trump is not going to fucking pick Michael Flynn as his vice president.
Do solemnly swear.
That I will
support and defend.
That I will defend.
The Constitution of the United States.
The Constitution of the United States.
Against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
Against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
That I take this obligation freely.
That I take this obligation freely.
Without any mental reservation.
Without any mental reservation.
Or purpose of evasion. And that I will well and faithfully.
And that I will well and faithfully.
Discharge the duties. Of the office on which I am about to enter.
Of the office of which I am about to enter.
So help me
God.
Where we go one, we go all.
Where we go all.
God bless America.
Jack Flynn.
Do solemnly swear.
Do solemnly swear.
That I will support and defend.
That I will support and defend.
The Constitution of the United States.
The Constitution of the United States.
Against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
Against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
That I take this obligation freely.
That I take this obligation freely.
Without any mental reservation. Or purpose of evasion.
Or purpose of evasion.
And that I will well and faithfully.
And that I will well and faithfully.
Discharge the duties.
Discharge the duties.
Of the office on which I am about to enter.
Of the office of which I am about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Where we go one, we go all.
Trying to brainwash us? Yeah, I'm trying to brainwash you into fucking understanding a key truth here, which is that motherfucker ain't the VP, bro. He's more likely to have RFK Jr. as his VP. Do you understand me?
And back to what is actually at stake here, and back to the fact that his opponent is somebody who has said he's going to use the White House as a tool of personal retribution, and that he might not accept the results of the election. And so, you know, there is a real threat here. There's a threat to women's reproductive health. There's a threat to essentially your freedoms. So the task that Biden has now is to drive the race back to the ground. I think he can do that, but I also think that that is going to be contingent on these next few days and kind of how this all goes for him.
You know, Doug, you've worked on your share of campaigns as well, Doug. But as you look at the way this is playing out, and even the communications that we've seen around it, little bits of information petering out, the campaign initially dismissing concerns. It's tough to forget the bedwetting brigade fundraising memo. When you look at this and you look at these denials of these conversations, what is your read on the campaign and how things are being handled?
Yeah, I've completely from that lens of working on Capitol Hill and campaigns as a communications staffer. And we know, obviously, that no candidate is ever pulling out of a race until the moment that they say that they're going to, in a tweet or on stage, whatever that venue may be. So Quentin earlier did his job, did it admirably, and did the job you're...
Someone tell Hasan to close the videos that he's not watching. They're loading in the background. What? Dude, it's fine. Anyway, y'all got debated, okay, with the Michael Flynn shit. We're done with that, right? Please. It lists Creighton, not Trump, as the candidate for president. Judith Ingram, a spokesperson for the FEC commission. FEC declined to comment. Okay, I don't know why you guys fucking ate that bait so fast. I'm going to run this again for you guys to understand something pivotal here. I think you're wrong on this. What? I don't think it's Flynn, but Trump is not a normal candidate. Normal VP math doesn't apply. Yes, it does. Mike Pence was his vice president. What are you talking about? He absolutely feels betrayed by Pence, so wants someone with no large profile and B who's absolutely loyalist. Trump backed the likes of Carrie Lake. Dude. Political instincts are seemingly better than yours in this circumstance, I think. You're wrong. You're so fucking wrong. He put the top 5 contenders on there. Okay? And every single one of them is in the confines of what I'm talking about. Bro, he had Burgum on there. Are you kidding me? Burgomaniacs, rise up. Like, you're insane. He wants a guy who can bring in big donors, who's not going to fuck up the bag, who's not going to be outshining him, who's not going to be more charismatic than him, who's going to be relatively loyal to him. Loyalty number one. But that person also needs to have like somewhat of a constituency, or at least like bring something to the table. Michael Flynn brings nothing to the fucking table. Anyway, having said that, I believe a lot of you are very delayed, so you should probably refresh or subscribe, because at the top of the hour, some of you are about to find out that there's a 3-minute ad break. If you no longer want to see those ads, all you need to do is subscribe for $5 or for free with a Twitch Prime. Maybe you'll refresh through the ad break. Maybe you will see the ad break. Okay? As long as you subscribe, you will no longer see the ads, though. Here's the 3-minute ad break now. Bergamaniacs. We need a Doug Burgum type to fucking gift people subs. System Stars. Thank you for the 10 gifted. Allowing 10 people to no longer see the ads of the hour. And this shit again.
But you can't have our soul. You could burn down our buildings and we'll still find a home.
We will all stick together and we'll never surrender. We won't give up our freedom.
From the shores of California all the way down to the Keys.
I gotta run this again, dude. I gotta show this again.
Only he will bring us closer when we fall to our knees.
Michael Flynn has a better shot on the RFK ticket than Donald Trump, okay? I'm saying it again. The fuck out of here with this nonsense, dude. You can't catch me slipping like that. I know I'm like off my game a little bit because I'm, you know, tired due to the fucking massive jet lag and the fact that I'm like running around all day. But you're out of your dang mind if you think I'll get caught slipping with that FEC filing.
Supposed to do when you're in a communications role like this, and I have enormous sympathy because quite often you're told, and when people outside say, "What the hell are they doing?" and I've been on the receiving end of this, I know that the communication staffers are doing what they're told, but also the
oh my god, half a chat is still reacting to the fucking YouTube video that I was watching earlier. Oh my god, it's pissing me off. The delay is going crazy mode, and it's also still effing every now and then. Oh my god. Everybody needs to fucking refresh again, I guess. I don't know how to fix this. I'm so upset. Half of you are so delayed, and it's effing
actually
again.
able to do. And the challenge, I think, is not what the Biden campaign says. It's the larger ecosphere around them. And if I'm working for President Biden and his campaign right now, I don't want Jim Clyburn on TV anymore. I don't want Nancy Pelosi going on TV anymore. Stop trying to help. You're not helping the situation. When Nancy Pelosi says it's a legitimate question, or Clyburn goes back and forth because he's on 9 different channels a day, your allies are not helping you. You need your surrogates all on board, or you need them quiet and to drive that message yourself.
But then, Doug, and really it's a question for the both of you, is that, though, a signal, right, that you are seeing Nancy Pelosi saying we need to know whether this was a one-off or whether this is a sign of a larger problem, that you are seeing cracks from your surrogates and public calls from your fellow Democrats to step aside? I mean, Doug, isn't that still a crisis of messaging if they are not getting through to their allies?
Yeah, and clearly there's not a strong hand here. This is where some of these members should have heard from Joe Biden. Joe Biden should have at least talked to Hakeem Jeffries one-on-one at this point, or Clyburn, given what an ally he is. But having these people out there thinking out loud does not benefit the president right now at all.
I do want to point out our reporting is that he has spoken with Minority Leader Jeffries and also with Leader Schumer. Kate, when you look at this, there is also a really important conversation to be had about the role of the First Lady.